Hey, thank you everyone for being here today. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, so if everyone will find your seats that needs a seat. We're excited to be here today. And just a couple of housekeeping notes before I turn it over to Adam Witten. We will need everybody to silence your phones if you haven't done that, please, for the press conference. And then when we get to questions for Coach with the media, we will pass a mic to media members only when it gets to that time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Witten, and I'm excited to welcome the many, many family members we have here in the App State Nation, as well as the thousands of App State fans, alums, and people all affiliated with this great university watching from across the country. Today, as we know, is a very significant day in Boone. It marks the next evolution in the history of the App State football program. We've known for decades what this football program means to this campus, to this community, and as the sport of college football changes at a breakneck speed, it is so crucial to work quickly, to work cohesively and effectively in identifying a leader to usher App State football into its next phase. I want to thank the next two individuals that will take the podium. Our interim chancellor, Heather Norris, our director of athletics, Doug Gillen, working together along with so many others to make this day a reality. We'll hear from Chancellor Norris, we'll hear from athletics director Doug Gillen, and then we'll have the opportunity to introduce you to the 23rd head coach in the history of App State football, Dowell Loggains. After his opening remarks, we will take questions from the media, and then we will have photo opportunities and what will celebrate a great day here at App State. Now, please join me in welcoming our Chancellor, Heather Norris.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. For 125 years, Appalachian State University has been a leader in higher education. App State's academic and athletic successes have strengthened our reputation. We have a long-standing and proud football tradition at App State with a national reputation for excellence and success on and off the field. With one of the nation's best home field advantages in our history, the Mountaineer football program has won nearly 700 games, 22 conference championships, claimed 3 NCAA championships, and has a 7-1 bowl record. And our football program boasts a strong academic record as well, one that is shared across all of our athletic programs. Last year marked 24 straight semesters, 12 years in a row, that App State student athletes earned at least a 3.0 GPA. This is an impressive accolade for every student athlete as well as for the coaches, faculty, and staff who support them. Additionally, over the last year, App State student athletes received 428 Chancellor's and Dean's List recognitions. I'd like to thank all the coaches and the many other staff members who support the entire athletics enterprise at App State. They are mentors for our student athletes, dedicated to their success, and we are all so fortunate to have them here at App State. Before I turn the microphone over to Doug Gillen, I want to take just a moment to say The job of an athletics director is incredibly complex and challenging, and Doug manages it with grace, humor, and steadfast professionalism. I appreciate his leadership and his work to hire a new head football coach who shows great promise to carry the program forward in true Appalachian tradition. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank you all for being here today. It truly is a great day to be a Mountaineer. This is a special day for us as we transition to the new leadership of our football program. We gather here today to welcome Coach Dowell Loggains and his family as our new head football coach. I want to thank a group of people. I want to certainly thank our UNC Board of Governors Representative Governor Philip Byers for being here today with us. Thank you, sir, for being here. I want to thank our Board of Trustee members, Tommy Sofield and Jeff Cheston, for being here with us today. Thank you very much for your leadership. And I certainly want a special thank you to our Chancellor, Heather Norris. Thank you very much, Chancellor Norris. A lot of other folks played a key role in this process, too many to mention, but I want to thank them all for creating, and I see our council out here, for creating a university that attracts high-level talent to be interested in this role. And we saw that throughout the process. A lot of the folks that we talked to were interested in Appalachian. And that is everybody that came here before us, the folks that are here now, and those folks that will be after us in terms of laying the foundation for a great university. Also want to thank Parker Executive Search Firm that helped us throughout this process. We began, as you all know, 7 days ago. We wanted to make sure, from a trait standpoint, we looked and found the following traits. And first and foremost, somebody that aligns with the mission and Chancellor Norris's mission for this great university. A few others: character. Character was high on our list. History of coaching success, strong mentors and advisors, an executive mindset, the ability to recruit, player development, a history of compliance, enthusiasm, competitive nature, somebody that will be engaged in our communities. Fundraising is key, student-athlete well-being, and competitive excellence, to list a few of the traits that we were looking for as we began this search. We spoke to a diverse group of candidates that had a high record of success and potential. This included over 20 folks, truly a national search. We conducted pre-screening calls and ended with finalists coming to campus. When we're recruiting somebody to come to Appalachian, we bring them to God's country and show them what it looks like to be up here. And that obviously is amazing. I cannot overstate the importance of having input from our football student athletes as we began this search. We talked to a group of leadership folks from our football team to make sure what they were looking for in the next leader of the program. Our vision for the program. When you look at the vision for our department, it begins and ends with supporting the educational mission of the university and our chancellor's plans for our future. That's where we start. Competitive performance is a driving factor in creating an excellent experience for our student athletes when they attend Appalachian. We strive to transform our student athletes academically, athletically, and personally, build a competitive program that is in a position for success and championships. And we engage our community to be part of our plans, and we need all of Appalachian to continue to rally behind App State football, including renewing your season tickets. We're getting ready to roll it out. We need you back in the Rocket 2025. Investing in key App State football facility initiatives like our new indoor. We need to continue to support that, support an NIL. If you're reading about college football, even this morning, you saw some information about NIL and what that means at our level. Coaches not going to certain places but staying with the promise of more NIL support. And providing direct support, and we'll get this out to our football support fund. That starts today. And I know I've heard from many football alums. Daniel Kilgore is here with us. I can't thank him enough for being here. Thank you, Daniel, for being here today. From many football alums over the last 24, 48 hours saying, what do you need us to do to support? And those are the list of things that I just mentioned. Coach Loggains' vision and past performance fit our expectations. During our interviews, Coach Loggains spoke of work ethic, focus on the well-being of student athletes, the challenging landscape of college football, and how his experiences prepared him to tackle the most critical issues facing our sport. Building a championship-level program. Across the board, every facet of the program matters. We found a dynamic coach, one who's coached and evaluated talent at the highest level of football, including as an offensive coordinator at the FBS level and in the National Football League. He has an impressive history of developing student athletes and mentoring his athletes on and off the field, believes in the relationships matter, which is most important in today's changing landscape. We found our top candidate who checked all the boxes and is prepared to lead App State back to football championships. Without further ado, and I'll probably reverse my comments here, because we were really sold when his wife Beth came up. That's probably what did the deal. But as you all know, and we had a chance to meet your beautiful family, we're not just hiring a football coach. We're engaging and inviting your family to be part of our plans. And we could not be more excited to have Coach Dowell Loggains as part of the Appalachian family. Welcome, next head football coach, Dowell Loggains. Come on.
That's a tough two speakers to follow. I appreciate you guys. First, I'd like to start by thanking the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Norris, Doug, and for this incredible opportunity. It's one I don't take lightly. I don't take lightly the position I hold now. The people, the town, the region. I want to thank God. This journey started with Him, and it will continue because of Him. I'd like to thank my family, my parents, my close friends who enabled me to be where I am today, which is just another step in the process of going where we're in the process of where we're trying to go. I'd like to thank all my former coaches that I've played for or worked under. Starts with my high school coach, Randy Allen, at Abilene, Texas. My college coach, Houston Nutt, Coach Bill Parcells, Jeff Ireland, Coach Jeff Fisher, Coach Norm Chow, Coach Mike Heimerdinger, Coach Mike Munchak, Kyle Shanahan, John Fox, Adam Gase, James Franklin, Sam Pittman, and Shane Beamer. I'd also like to mention three of my other mentors, Chris Mortensen, our old trainer at Arkansas when I was a player, Dean Weber, and Coach Clyde Christensen. Billy Graham said that a coach will impact more young people in a year than the average person in a lifetime. And that's what those three mentors have done for me. Now I'd like to thank all the former players that played under us. And obviously we have one, Daniel Kilgore was our center in 2017 with the Miami Dolphins. And he represents the best of this place. And it's awesome to have him here today because how many times you get to stand up here and become a head football coach and have one of your former players here. So thank you for being here, Daniel. And thank you for everything you sacrificed for us as a player. They were willing to do whatever it took to be successful. We're very demanding. We're going to continue to be very demanding. I appreciate the work and sacrifice that they went through to allow us to be in the situation we're in today. All right. There's a question out there I'm sure that people are asking, who I am. And I think I can explain that a little better by saying who I am by explaining the relevance of, in this conversation, being the App State head football coach. All right. And we talk about why do we want to be here? Why App State? And Chancellor and Doug mentioned it better than I can, but you got 13 NFL alumnus. Last night you got to see Jalen Virgil and Nick Hampton exchanging jerseys. What an awesome thing for us to have our brand out. You're talking about a team over the one of the only 8 FBS programs to win have more wins over the last 10 years. The best game day environment in our conference. And so that's why. It's because the students here. It's the fans. It's the passion. It's going through the interview process. And you get to feel the Board of Trustees coming out of their chair when they talk about this place. I'd had an opportunity to be around Daniel and guys like that, and you could feel their energy. And we know the names. It goes back to Coach Jerry Moore, Dexter Coakley, Corey Lynch when he blocked the field goal, Daniel Jeremiah. And it's those names. It's this place. It's this stadium, the reputation of winning. And when you're looking for these jobs, everyone says you got to take the right one. It's so hard to build a culture of winning. And you guys know what it looks like. And my family and I are so blessed to be part of it because we don't have to teach what winning looks like. We know. We stumbled. And that's why we're all sitting in here today to get this thing back where it should be. We should have played a game last Saturday. And the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor and the Athletic Director were very clear in their expectations of that. And you want to come to a place where that's what it's about. It's about winning. And we're going to build this program based on relationships and competition. We're going to have great relationships with these kids. I love our players. I love Daniel Kilgore. I love the guys that we've coached in the past, and we're so excited. That's why, as a coach, that's why you do what you do. It's for moments to get to see one of your former players standing up here, and when I'm the one sitting here, and I'm allowed to be here because of guys like that. I want to thank everyone. I promise you this: we're going to work from dusk till dawn to get this thing right, and we're going to give you everything we got. And it's an incredible opportunity because the people that walked before us, and we don't take this thing lightly, and we're so excited to get started on this process. And I will open this thing up to questions now.
We'll take questions from media. Raise your hand. State your affiliation, please.
Marvin Parker Jr., ABC Asheville WLOS.
Yes, sir.
Becoming a head coach now, operationally, I know it's, you want to win every game, but the day in and day out, dusk to dawn, running your own program now, what are the elements of minutia that you're looking forward to?
Well, you start with task every day, and the goal of this program is to be a champion. That's be a champion in everything we do. And we want these guys to be fulfilled academically, spiritually, and athletically as well. So the first process is recruiting our own players back. We live in a transfer portal world where 17 years in the NFL get you ready for this because this is the NFL now. I'm used to negotiating with guys like Daniel Kilgore, and I'm used to holdouts. And so you go through this process and you're evaluating your own roster. And there's a million little things that pop up every day. And calling plays in the National Football League and in the SEC get you ready for making decisions. And every day that's the advantage of, hey, why is it important to be a coordinator? Because we've had to make tough decisions. We do it every play, 80 times a game on Saturdays or Sundays or Monday nights back in the NFL. So you take everything you've got from the mentors that we mentioned and we thanked earlier, and you just go about it day by day, one task at a time.
And then our market down in Asheville also covers Clemson. We just saw the Palmetto Bowl.
Yeah.
We just saw the future of Lenore Sellers. So however you want to approach the difficulty or ease of leaving that situation to come here.
That's a great question. And I told in the interview process, the hardest thing that I was going to have to do when I left South Carolina was to call Lenore Sellers. We deeply value relationships. And when I got to South Carolina, it was 2 years ago in December, and we hadn't offered the kid a scholarship. And I go in and I watch the tape, and I walk back in our recruiting people. I say, hey, who is this guy? This guy's got unbelievable character, and this is going to be an evaluation developmental program. And it's the things we learned in the NFL from Coach Bill Parcells in the evaluation process. But he was a winner, and he was a really good soccer player. He had great feet, which also correlates with playing quarterback. And so you go through this saying, you recruit him. You got 10 days. He's committed to Syracuse. And you're trying to flip him. You got 10 days, and he's never met you. He's never talked to you a day in his life. And you're telling him about your vision for the offense, and you're building a relationship. And then an incredible opportunity. There were very few places I would have left South Carolina and Lenore Sellers for. But this was one because of the tradition of winning and the vision the Chancellor and the board and Doug have. So the phone conversation was really hard between us. Obviously, the success we had this year, and I'm so proud of that young man. He's been really good. And we'll continue to stay close and help him, and I'll watch him through his journey, and he knows that I'll always be in his corner.
And then lastly for me, obviously the players you have dictate what you're able to do best. But in a perfect world, schematically, what is the type of offense or team that this fan base should be expecting to see?
But you nailed it, and you kind of answered the question. Is we're going to do what our players do well. And that's where it starts. And it starts with, you start with a playbook that's about this big, and you figure out what it gets to, and you get to there. Spencer Rattler, we were third in the SEC in passing 2 years ago with Spence and Xavier Leggett, who are both playing in the National Football League now. And then the offense changes when you get Lenore Sellers, and it looks different. And that's why you coach all these years, is to accumulate enough knowledge to build systems around the talent of your players. Both those offenses look different than when we had Daniel Kilgore at center. And you build stuff offense and defensively around your players. There's things that when we recruit, the traits that we look for, and there's an ideal offense, but it'll always be about what you have. It's an ever-changing landscape of college football with the transfer portal and high school recruiting and these things. So we have enough football knowledge, and we're going to put together a great staff that has enough football knowledge to do with our players well. And that's make sure that we're attacking the weaknesses. We know our own weaknesses. We can cover them up, and we play to our players' strengths.
Coach John Johnson, WXII, welcome, congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Taking this job, how important was it for you to understand and know that the support from the head down was going to be there for you to not only build this program in your vision, but to sustain a build-winning cultured program?
Well, it's a great question, John. That's really what as a coach, that's what you look for. You look from alignment from the top down. You want to know the chancellor, the athletic director, the resources meet the expectation. And you go through all these things because the expectations are very high here, and we expect to win. And no one's happy that we didn't play a game this Saturday. So you go through and you make sure, and they're interviewing me, and I'm also talking to them about their vision and how they see these things and why we are at the point we're at. And from the interview process and the first phone call, I told my wife, she walked out of the room and I said, hey, she's like, how was it? And I was like, these people get it. They know what winning looks like. I can feel their passion. I can feel the energy from some of the people that are here on the board coming through the phone, and you get in person with them, and you feel their willingness to do whatever it takes to win. And they don't want, and that's, to me as a coach, that's what everyone's looking for. Do I have an opportunity to win the way that we're supposed to win? And it goes back to the tradition of this place. Like, you can't teach a community how to win. It's hard and it takes a lot of time. This community knows how to win. This football program knows how to win. It's nationally known for their brand. And we all know what an App State team is supposed to look like. And we know what we should be doing in conference championship weekends. And it's been proven. And where there's tradition and there's history, it can be repeated. So the alignment for me was very important. It was the most important thing. But getting in a room with the chancellor and Doug and the board of trustees, I knew that I had stumbled on something special, and I felt the intensity of how bad they want to win and their passion for winning and their willingness to do whatever it took to get the job done.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. Doug mentioned earlier the executive leadership aspect of this that you bring, and a lot of the criticism in recent years of college football is that the head coaching position has become more of a CEO type of role. What's your vision for the balance between mentorship, coaching, and executive leadership?
The whole basis of this program is built on relationships and competition. So relationships are big to me. The first night I was on the job, myself and a couple others were sitting in the room meeting with players, and it will always be about the players. We're here to serve these guys, and that's why you coach, is to make sure that you can impact a life, not just the football player, but the life. And that when you see Daniel Kilgore, and you hadn't seen him in 7 years, but you've lost a lot of weight, bud, you look good, that hug happens, and it's natural, and it's organic. When you talk about the management systems, the NFL model prepared me for this, because that is the new model. It is an NFL operation. I sit here and I deal with college coaches and administrators, and they're mad about people asking for NIL money. They're mad about the transfer portal and all that stuff. Well, I've dealt with Le'Veon Bell and Chris Johnson holding out, and I understand the business aspect of it, but you still got to keep a relationship, and business is business. It's not personal. You're going to win with great relationships. You're going to keep a kid out of a transfer portal because they can't come into your office and say, hey, coach, I want to get in the portal. At the end of the day, that relationships will always win. We want to be the most connected team in the country. When the kid can't walk in the locker room and say, hey, tell his brothers, hey, I'm leaving because I don't want to let you guys down. That's what winning looks like. Winning on Saturday is going to be a byproduct of everything else we do. It's the relationships we create. It's a level of competition. It's being a champion. How good can we get these guys to be? How far can we push them? Can we make them be the best version of themselves? So all of that stuff plays in this leadership thing. And the NFL, in my opinion, has prepared us for that, because we had to deal with salary cap. I had to talk to agents. When Kilgore wants a new contract, I had to negotiate that thing. And with the agent, or we're trying to sign a quarterback, you're involved in those things. One of my quarterbacks, former quarterbacks, Kerry Collins, son's daughter plays tennis here. I've had to negotiate contracts with him, and when he went 13-3 and went to the Pro Bowl, like, all of a sudden these guys want more money, and it's not personal, it's business. So that from that standpoint, we've been prepared to do this role because it is a different role. You're not just a football coach anymore. You are a manager, and you're dealing with a salary cap. But you still have to be able to go. It goes back to relationships. I want every one of those kids to be able to walk in my office and tell me their problems and see how I can help them. And I'm not always going to have the resources to do what they need to do, but I can promise this: we can treat our players better than everyone else can treat their players.
One final question. And you've kind of touched on this earlier, but what is it that drives you to be a football coach? What is it that fuels your energy, makes you get up every morning?
It's the relationships with the kids. It's the relationship with the coaches. The people, like, when you play the game, at some time our clock all runs out. And, I was very fortunate to be able to play at the University of Arkansas. And I was a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and I was a quarterback and really made a role as a holder. But the opportunity to get on the bus and the opportunity to be part of a team. And I've been part of a team since I was 3 years old, since I was my son's age. And sorry, you're 8, buddy. I know, but and it's that connection. It's your former players that call you, and whether it be yesterday, Mike White and Mitchell Trubisky are FaceTiming me because they're on the same team in Buffalo, and they're excited about, oh, man, we got to get to App State, and we got to do some quarterback school this summer. Or Matt Hasselbeck sending you a text, or Jay Cutler coming to our game in Nashville and getting to see his kids, and just the relationships you build, and that's why you do it. And it makes you wake up every morning, and it's Lenore Sellers working his tail off to prove to everyone he's not the 70th best quarterback in the country, that that you help him accomplish everything he wants to accomplish.
David Colson, College Sports Journal. App State has had 4 coaches in the last 7 years, with you being the fourth of those. How do you go about reestablishing consistency and stability in the program?
Go to work. It's a great question. I understand it. Some of that's because of winning, and there's guys that they won and they had different aspirations. None of it happens without a great tradition and opportunity to win. So you go to work every day, and that's our consistency is our routine. We want to do the routinely things routine, and so we're going to start recruiting, and we're going to be in this transfer portal. We're going to recruit our own guys. Most importantly, I want everyone in that locker room that does things the right way to be here.
You've been a lot of different places over the course of your career.
Yes, sir.
How long do you see your tenure being at App State?
That's a great question. I wish that I could tell you. I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I had a crystal ball before every play I called too, so I knew to always call a good one. My answer was, I would love to say until the Chancellor and Doug tell me it's time to do otherwise. And my family and I've got 4 kids. They moved a lot. Those 2 were born in Nashville. He was born in Chicago, and she was born in New Jersey. She was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. And for us, it was about, when you choose a place, the other part of the why is you want to go somewhere where you can establish something over a long period of time. We weren't looking to, I could have stayed at South Carolina and I would have made a lot more money, I promise. But this is a chance to come and build something that's part of it, something that's already, like, we're adding on to the legacy of this place, and we want to affect this community. My wife and I and our kids will be extremely involved in this community, and we want to impact it, and we want to leave it better than we found it. And I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know how long that's going to be. This is an ever-changing world of college football. Doug just mentioned we have so many things focused on past we can't talk about the future other than I can't wait to go get with our team and start meeting with those guys and getting this transfer portal, start evaluating all those tape, and get back to recruiting this state and building our staff. Like, there's so many things where I'm not thinking about the future. I'm thinking about how fast can this press conference get over and how fast can we get to work. Hey, I like this guy.
Adam Persico, the Appalachian.
Yeah, okay.
You've had incredible success in the past couple of years with 2 quarterbacks like Spencer Rattler and Lenora Sellers, as you mentioned, who were kind of overlooked by national media at that point in their career. What can you bring from those experiences to develop these very talented players that are here already at App State?
Yeah, I agree with you. There are a lot of talented players here on this roster, and that's what gets me excited. And those are 2 really talented people that that you mentioned, but sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is make sure that they see themselves for who they are. And maybe it's making sure, like, I'd love to take credit and tell you I made Spencer Rattler great and I made Lenore Sellers great. I'd be lying to you. I was able to help them improve every day. I was able to see something in them that maybe the outside world didn't see, but I worked with them every day. I knew what they're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to compete. I knew they were willing to do whatever it took to make it right and to win football games. And that's what it's about. It's about evaluation. It's about making sure that you're picking the right people, whether it be a player, a staff member that comes into our building. It's special to be here, and it's an honor to wear these colors, and it's an honor to be part of App State. And so some of it goes back to player selection, staff selection, making sure that that everyone that comes in this building has the same expectation, the same vision, and that's championships.
All right, thank you.
Great meeting you.
Okay. That will conclude today's press conference. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Before you go, we do have some refreshments for the people here in attendance on the other side. That was Coach telling me we need to wrap the press conference up, right? Well done, well done. And then before we do that, though, I want to ask Coach Loggains and Doug Gillen to come up here on the stage. We've got something to present him before we officially wrap things up. Thank you, everyone.
Not official till you get your own jersey.
How about this? Appreciate it.